Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the Diagnose Bravo podcast. I am your host, Maury, here with my amazing friend, Demi.
Hey.
And, and today we're going to talk about who we are, what started this podcast, and favorite housewife and least favorite housewife. So I will let you intro yourself, Demi, and how we got into this podcast and yeah, all the good stuff.
All right. I have always been a long time Housewife fan. I'm talking about since I was a kid. My mother got me into it. It's one of the things that we talk about whenever we get together. And so I have just been honestly, Atlanta was always my favorite. I grew up on Jersey. But when all of the stuff with Miss Erica Jane came out, is when I really got back into it, started rewatching old episodes and started branching out into the other housewives and stuff like that. When I met my homegirl Maury, I introduced her to the show because that's all I was watching. And of course, the both of us kind of loved it together. So it's just something that we share between the two of us. And it's kind of blossomed into this thing where, like, whenever there's a new episode, we're kind of watching it together. So that's kind of how this all got started.
Honestly, yeah, it's a collective effort at this point. Um, and yeah, so I'm Maury. I think I've been watching Housewives for the last 2 years, but once I was put on, I just couldn't stop watching. Um, I was like, damn, this is some great drama that I'm not included in. It was a wonderful time, and it is a
Mhm.
wonderful time to be me. Um, so now me and Demi are watching the episodes together, and right now it's January 2024, or 2020 point, like fourth version of 2020 at this point. Um, and we're still watching all the good shit. So what made me come up with the idea is I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, Demi and I were watching Housewives. And something that we do is we'll pause and we'll start breaking down the reasons for all of the chaos, whether it's someone acting out of pocket for no reason or providing a outside perspective to a situation that's going on, because half of the shit that goes on in that show does not need to happen. It's over dramatized, always starts with some misunderstanding, and we're just like really diagnosing the situation. So I was like, damn, we should have a podcast and call it Diagnose Bravo, on top of the fact that Miss Demi here has a degree in super fancy psychology. She'd be out here.
I do be out here.
She be out here. So the conversations are lit. Some of these people may have been diagnosed by us. We are not doctors, and but
We are not.
but some of this shit, some of these people need the diagnosis we provide.
These people
So
need help. Take some
so
Lexapro without the alcohol.
we're here, and now we have the podcast, and that's to put it in your words, blossom. This is what it blossomed into, and it's pretty cool. Um, icebreaker question, or I guess before the icebreaker question, yeah, we're in New York. Um,
Ooh.
I don't watch the Real Housewives of New York, if you want me to be honest. It's not something I'm interested in. I feel like it doesn't capture the vibe of New York, but you know, I don't have a lot of money, so I guess I can't have the same vibe as them or whatever. Um, and yeah, I guess that's like the pieces about us. We really like Bravo. We're in New York and we watch the shit. In
Mhm.
terms of icebreaker question, this one's really fun because we thought we could talk about our favorite housewives and our least favorite housewives. My least favorite, it's two, it's from the same spot, Giselle and Robin. And I'm sure we can like have an episode where we just talk about why they need to be off the show. But just to briefly put it, they provide no value. They
None.
hide all parts of their life.
Yes.
They lie.
Lie.
And they hold on to the same storyline since they've been on the show.
So unfortunate.
Not one character development. It's plateau. It's ridiculous. So I'm over them. They gotta go. And then they started a podcast just to talk shit about other people so that they could stay relevant, and they're still irrelevant. It's not for us. And us because yeah, Demi feels the same way.
Yeah. My
um
least favorite was also Juan Dixon roommate. Um, Honestly, I like Jizzy. I'm a big fan of Jizzy. And the reason why I like Miss Giselle is because I really enjoy her kids. I enjoy the
That's
dynamics
true.
that she has with them. I feel like it really humanizes her. I haven't been feeling this whole thing with her and Candace. I did not like that. So she is in timeout for me. But I do feel like Potomac needs her. She keeps it messy. And that's what the fuck we like. Now, Juan Dixon roommate, on the other hand, that woman brings nothing to the table. She has been cheated on by the same man for the past 30 years. And I feel for her. I really, really do. I don't know what it's like to be her. I'm sure the things that she's dealing with is very difficult. However, she signed up to be on a reality show. And part of that is to share your life and to share your struggles. And I feel like she hides a lot of things when it comes to Mr. Juan Dixon. And how everything shook out between the whole Candace situation and them last year, I just did not think that it was cool. I felt like even though she was really supportive at first, um, there's just something about the way that she interacts with Giselle that really frustrates me. I feel like whatever Giselle says goes, and it's really unfortunate because I feel like if she really supported Candace and her husband Chris, then she would have stood 10 toes down on that. But it was the fact that she then hopping the fence that I was like, really, girl?
Trying to appease
Anywho,
everybody.
yeah, Juan Dixon roommate, she's not interesting anymore. Like she was cool, she's a really sweet lady. She seems real nice, but just she doesn't do it for me anymore and she needs to go. Go go go.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's ran its course. I feel like, I guess that's rude. I was gonna say I feel like she's the Teddy Mellencamp of,
She is.
just because, yeah, okay, okay. So I'm not bugging. I'm not bugging. All right, I'll
She
take it.
is.
I'll take
There's a version
it.
of her in every single franchise. She's Teddy. She's oh, what's her name from Atlanta? Um, how did I forget her name? The model. You know who I'm
Kenya.
talking about. Not Kenya.
Oh, well,
The
she
other
is the
one, the
model.
tall one, Cynthia. There
Oh,
you go.
Cynthia.
Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
Cynthia. She's Cynthia. She's Heather before Heather blew the fuck up. Like
Facts.
there's just and they're needed in certain franchises, but I feel like all of them, they ran their course. Teddy was here for a few years and then she dipped because, girl, you just keep giving us the same blah. Cynthia was here for a little bit, but then Cynthia started to work for her money. And I love that for her. Heather started like that and then she came to work. And that's what we like to see. But Juan Dixon roommate, she doesn't do any of that. She's not here to work. She's here just to collect a paycheck. And it's like, we gotta work. My second least favorite, same franchise, no longer a housewife, Miss Charisse. Mi-
Yeah.
Miss Charisse now. Charisse?
Wait, she's not a housewife? Because, okay,
No, she's not.
is she currently presenting as a friend of the show right now?
I think so, yes.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering why her appearance was there.
Because
I
she's a
was,
friend of.
I was like, what are you doing here?
I don't know. I don't understand why she's still on the show. It makes no sense for me. She, uh, I don't get it. She doesn't bring anything. She doesn't really talk about anything interesting. I still really don't understand what happened between her and her husband. Like, her rap was real cute. That rap that she did was it season one for her birthday when she was like, "I'm Charisse" or whatever the rap was.
Oh,
I
that
thought
one that
that
was
was
like from when she was younger. Yeah.
yeah, that shit was hilarious. Um, Golden, epic TV. But ever since then, it's just like I don't know. I just don't like the way everything kind of went down with her and Monique. And ever since then, I've just been kind of giving her the side eye. and she just doesn't do it for me. Like, you don't bring anything interesting. I don't really like I keep forgetting that she exists until she pops up and I'm like, "Why is she still here?" She is like the one friend of the show that I don't know. Why are we still friends with her?
Yeah, I could see that. I think that I have more concern for Charisse just because of how unhappy she always looks.
Mhm.
I never see her happy. I always see her drinking and I always see her sad. And I think we should definitely have an episode where we talk about like the curse of Bravo a little bit. As much as we like watching, we just see in certain parts where it plays on that person's current situation or weaknesses and strengths also, but like I haven't seen Charisse in a positive light. Um
Well, I think her husband also set her up. Like, I think that he used the Real Housewives to distract her.
while he
And
was fucking around.
yeah, and I feel like it just got to a point where he could no longer distract her.
Mm,
And that's just why we kind of see like the cracks in the pavement at this point.
mm. I could see that. I feel bad for her because she just never seems happy. And in that whole scene where they're sitting Robin down and talking about how, where she was saying, it's hard for me to speak because I see this happening in my last marriage, and I don't see anything different. And
Yeah,
it's like, damn, that's what you went through. And maybe she's not the best character just because of how much she's been through, but she's still boring.
yeah,
It's unfortunate.
it
Sorry, Cherie.
is. It
Um,
is.
but every time I see her on screen, I'm like, oh my god, what are you doing here? I have
Right.
no
Don't you have
interest at
something
all.
else to do? More raps to write? Like anything? I don't
More
know.
raps to write. But yeah, I like that. Those are your our least favorite people. My top favorites, again, two people for me. One is Garcelle, particularly because this newer season, she's being messy as shit. And if
Love
she's
that for
not being,
Garcelle.
I know, and it's not even the things that she's saying. Okay, well, it's the things that she's saying, and it's the things that she's not saying also. Like if you look at when she's in her confessionals, it's a very quick shade and a sip of the beverage. And it's like in between that moment, there's so much more she want to say, but she knows she said enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, damn, I like that. I like that a lot. That's going to be a very spicy reunion because she's being two different people right now. She's like all in your face, Kiki. She is speaking up for herself more, and I like that. But she's also like, I ain't afraid to say the shit that I'm gonna say. So it's kind of cool. I like that. My second person is Lisa Rinna, and I think also because she's messy. I'm here for the chaos. Um, and I miss her on this current season of Beverly Hills. I think that
Ugh.
I do because she brought a certain party to the cast that I don't think anybody else had. If anybody else were to bring a party, it would be very sad or emotional. Like sometimes I feel like she just brings fun that these old women are missing, fun with being herself, fun with living in the chaos a little bit. And I also find it so funny that she doesn't like say my boo or my husband as much as she just says Harry Hamlin. Like it's just first name, last name.
She loves to say that man's name.
First name, last name. Not no pet name, none of that. She
Oh
means that shit. She's
God.
like,
She
yes,
wants
the
you to
Harry Hamlin.
remember who that man is.
That's the only
Mr.
reason why I
Harry
remember his name.
Hamlin.
She meant that shit. She means
Oh,
it every time she says it on every post and in every camera. And I just like how she's herself. And even in the
oh.
moments where she's not her best self, she's authentic in it. Especially for a show like Beverly Hills where you're not as authentic because the Beverly Hills facade that's put up and all that stuff. So this season I like just because I'm seeing a lot more humble in the cast, but I do miss Lisa Rinna. She crazy.
Uh, I don't miss that woman at all. I feel like that's something that we can get into a different day, but She is definitely not my least favorite, but I'm so glad she's gone. Like, I'm and just for the fact that I think that Erica is better for it. Like the Erica Jane that we see this season, who has honestly humbled herself and like has started to take accountability for stuff, or at least seemingly. Um, I think that that wouldn't have been able to happen with Rena still here because not to say
That's true.
that
She's
Erica's run
gold.
by anyone because that lady is not run by anyone,
Fact.
but I do feel like Rena puts a battery in her back.
Yeah.
Um, if she activates Erica in ways that I don't think anyone else on the show activates her, and I just don't like seeing that side of Erica. This, and don't get me wrong, I love the clapbacks. That scene between her and Denise, top tier. Loved it. Loved
She's
it.
like, I am the bad guy. Next.
Shit, bro. Top tier. But I feel like there's a difference between her just being a bitch and her just tearing everything down just because of how much she's hurting. And I feel like a little bit that Rena did fuel her need to just tear things down around her. And not to say that Rena is the only reason, definitely not. Erica's her own person, but I do think that a lot of the change that we see today with her is because Rena's not there to kind of bring her down with her. Um,
And you're referring to that scene where Erica finds out that it was her personnel that was going around telling all this shit in the last season, right? Where they were just going back and forth asking questions.
are you talking about her like publicity person?
Yeah, because wasn't there a scene where
Yeah,
Brenna and Erica were going back and forth like they were one mind?
yeah. It's
That
just a
shit was
lot.
like they were synced. They were synced and they
Yeah.
were
Oh
asking
yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
questions.
Like that is her bestie and homeboy, like everything. But it's a lot of energy.
Mhm.
Rena is a lot of energy. Um, but yeah, like I said, that's a longer conversation for a different day. Personally, my favorite LVP all day, every day.
The
And
goat.
here's the reason why I love LVP. One, not only does this woman have a beautiful British accent, but she is just that bitch. Like, there's nothing else to talk about. She is so maniacally manipulative. She is a little fucking crazy. And I love that shit about her. The stuff that this woman has done behind the scenes to make Beverly Hills what it is today is outrageous. And I don't think we've seen anything like it since. I think that Rena definitely tried to be that,
Mhm.
but I don't think Rena is that girl. Um,
I could see that.
and I think that there is a hole that was left by LVP, honestly. Like with I mean, with the exception of the seasons where Erica was going through the things that she was going through, it wasn't as interesting or fun without her. Um, it got really dark really quick, and that's what I really didn't enjoy
Mm.
about seeing LVP's last season and everything that kind of happened without her, because things got really dark. um but honestly, I mean, her love for animals, her classiness, the way she dresses, the way she looks, the way her shade, the maloof hoof, bro, I just saw that video again, like not like a couple of days ago, and I was dying maniacally on the fucking train. Like, she was like, it's a little fat shoe. And everyone's like, don't you see how rude that is? And she's like, I don't get it. It's a little fat shoe. It's the maloof hoof. Like,
She's like, I said what I said.
that level of willful ignorance is amazing. Like, she's like, I said what I said. I'm standing 10 toes on it, and I'm not going to let you know what I really feel. But you know exactly what I really feel. I mean, this woman, from putting batteries in the back of Brandy, who I also don't like,
Yeah, fuck Brandy.
putting batteries in the back of Kyle, goodbye, Kyle. Putting the battery in the back of Teddy, that whole situation, wild. But the thing between like the difference between LVP and someone like Giselle, who I also feel like does very similar things, is that I feel like LVP is just a little bit better at hiding some of the stuff that she does. It's not always as apparent. And I feel like the things that she kind of manipulates into fruition isn't as toxic as the things as Giselle has done. Like Giselle has gone after people's marriages, Giselle has gone after people and saying like, oh, you know, he sexually like harassed me a little bit or whatever the case was. I feel like LVP was like, yeah, tell that bitch Yolanda that she got Munchausen. How do you pronounce it?
The
Munchausen?
Munchausen
Munchausen. There
syndrome.
you go.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Like, fucked
I
up.
remember that.
Yes. Is it going to
Damn.
ruin her life? No. You know what I mean? Things like that. Like, it's stuff that you can laugh at. It's stuff that's like, she really wasted her time doing that. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
I feel like in some of these other shows, it's like a little bit more devious and a little bit more like, oh, we're actually coming after people and people's lives and people's families and stuff like that. Honestly, LVP is a good time. She makes me laugh. I enjoy watching her. She's my homegirl. I would sit down to high tea with LVP any day.
Fact. I
Honestly,
would
her
love
and Ken
afternoon
and her
tea.
1,000 dogs.
Yes. Can we? I want to take them to Prince's Tea House. Like, just
Packed.
it'd be such a great time. Also, I just thought of another housewife that I hate. Phaedra fucking Parks, bro.
Oh, Faye.
So many problems. One, you come on lying. You just come on straight lying.
Faye.
As if the whole table wasn't full of women, Phaedra. We all know that was you were not 6 months pregnant and a baby about to come out. Stop playing. Um, Two, the fact that you really tried to stick to that lie. Queen gaslight, like everyone's pointing it out. As annoying as Kim is with her saying she was a nurse and honestly all them kids that she had, she knows. Like, come on. So the frame one, terrible. What put the nail in the coffin for me with Phaedra was the lie that she orchestrated between her Portia about Candy,
Yeah,
where
that was
she
really
told
unfortunate.
that was terrible. And all of
Yeah.
that to happen on a reunion, no less, is even worse, in my opinion, because it's not something that you had time to work through. It's during
Yeah.
a day where you're now reliving situations that were stressful to you last year almost. And now this is something else to compile on. And it's so inconsiderate to use Phaedra the way that she did to spread lies about Candy because she really loved Candy and felt like Candy betrayed her by their relationship being a little distant, and then turning that into fuck that, I'm gonna ruin your life. And Candy, who expresses no interest in drugs, who expresses no interest in alcohol, who only ever works, honestly, works and be with her
That's all she
family.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're gonna sit there and accuse her of wanting to drug and SA Portia. And I think that that is absolutely disgusting. And the fact that
Yeah.
she's on Married to Medicine upsets me even more. In my opinion, she shouldn't be a TV person out at all.
Yeah.
That just shows me that you're not someone I can trust, that you're out here trying to ruin lives. And it was just a regular date for you. You're dangerous. You're dangerous. I cannot
Yeah.
have you near me. Um,
Um, I mean, honestly, I up until that point, I really did enjoy Phaedra. Like she brought it. She was beautiful, she was educated, you know, her kids are beautiful. She had a cute little family. Apollo's Apollo, but
yeah.
other than that, like, and she honestly, I feel like did for Atlanta what some women do for Beverly Hills. Like she brought, or not even Beverly Hills, because I feel like that's on a different level. I think like it's akin to what happens on Jersey with Teresa. Like
Mm.
she brought the money, she brought the extravagance, she brought the over the top. You just spent 100K on a birthday party for what? And it was just amazing. Like her sipping scenes were hilarious. When
It
they
was
had the
weddings.
ballerinas, um, when they had Dwight on doing all her parties and stuff like that, amazing. When she was kikiing it up with Portia, amazing. Her and her outfits. Um, when she was like, "Oh, because the booty's gonna eat you up" or something, and she was like, "Rah, rah, rah." Hilarious, hilarious. Loved me, Miss Parks, but yeah, that whole candy thing definitely that was not good as a
No.
as a human being. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
felt like if Candy really had betrayed you in the way that you felt like she did, that was something that could have been dealt with offline, off screen. To do that in that way, there's just no coming back from it. But unfortunately Phaedra is a fan favorite. Like people do love her.
Damn.
Um and as we have been able to see, people have been able to get away with a lot and still have been able to be housewives. I mean, some people went to jail a few times. Some people are out here committing fraud. Some people are allegedly stealing from the elderly and fire victims, and they're still
Not the
allowed
fire
to
victims.
be.
The fire heavy on the fire victims.
Yes. Oh, and they're still allowed to be on Bravo. So, I'm not surprised that she's back. Um, yeah, I'm not surprised that she's back. Yeah, that I'm not surprised that, but she will never be able to be back on Atlanta while Candy's there. I'm sure Candy has that in her contract. I'm sure Candy is, I believe, the highest grossing housewife to date.
Mhm.
Whatever Candy say, go. So she
Facts.
will never step foot back onto Atlanta until Candy leaves. And I feel like Candy is so petty that she will be on Atlanta until they fire her to make sure this woman doesn't get back on the show. Um,
As she should.
but yeah, Miss Parks, man, she was something different. That's
That's
that
top
lawyer
tier.
in her.
Top tier manipulation, bro. Cause she
Mhm.
makes you like her. And I
She
feel like she did that with
does.
everybody, and
She's
especially Portia.
funny.
And then even at the she hella funny, and she puts on that southern charm.
Mm-hmm.
And even during that reunion where all of this shit came out, she goes, I'm sorry, Candy, but I'm really sorry to Portia.
I
Like
really felt like she was genuinely sorry to Portia because I think her and Portia were real friends.
they became
Like,
real friends. I don't think that was her initial agenda.
mm-hmm.
She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take on this one." She seen
Yeah,
easy.
yeah,
And then they became really good friends. I did think their relationship was very wholesome, um, until
yeah,
it wasn't, and then
yeah,
used her the way that she did, and then gave a
yeah,
half apology to Candy. She just
yeah.
moves on to the next, and that's how they get you.
Oh
You a sneaky
yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, you can't let the accolades and the fame and the fortune get to your head because when it gets to a point where you're willing to do anything to like I guess to prove a point,
Mm-hmm.
whatever point that is, I feel like that's when you need to back away and you need to kind of reevaluate. And I honestly hope that she's become a better person since then. I don't really know what she's been up to. I occasionally see like photos of her and her kids when they go to like Dubai or whatever, and it seems like everybody's thriving. So I genuinely hope that she has become a better person since then. Because I don't think that. I mean, there's some things that are irredeemable, but I feel like people grow and they change and things happen and stuff like that. So I really genuinely hope that she has become a better person. But she
Let's
can be a
cross
better
that bridge.
person over there and not in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's a very positive outlook, and I think you're better than me because I wasn't trying to wish the best for her, but
I
um,
mean, solely for the fact that she has kids, she has sons, you know what I mean?
I
And her
guess, yeah,
sons deserve to have a mother
who's not
who
manipulative and narcissistic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who does her best, you know what I mean? But because God knows their father is doing something different. But I feel like her sons deserve her to be a better person, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and if anything, if it makes her sons grow up to be great men and go out into the world and do great things, then I hope that she really has grown and changed, you know what I mean? So that's just how I feel about that.
No, I like that. I like that a lot. Well, there you have it, folks. Those are our favorite and least favorite. Any other ones come to mind for you, Demi?
Um, I mean, speaking of Phaedra, I mean, there's Portia. Ugh, if there's one person that I
I like
miss,
Portia.
it's Portia. Portia was just so funny, so just genuinely her. Of course, gorgeous body that don't quit. Um, but I feel like she just was who she was, you know what I mean? And like even when she was out here saying really dumb things, she always was
What was
really
the
genuine
real
with who she tried so hard. Like
one?
she
She
tried
did.
so hard. And I honestly feel like she really redeemed herself. And you
She
know,
did.
there's a thing like when you are ignorant and you don't know any better, you can come off as like really like quote unquote dumb seeming. But I think she
Hmm.
was just really naive. I think she was in a bad marriage. We all know that.
Yeah.
I think that she did not have the time to grow and to learn. I think that she was made to be really dependent on her husband. And if I'm gonna be dependent on my man, I'm not gonna be doing much thinking either. But one thing that I like about her growth is that you really see how she's become a better person. She was really into her activism. She was really into doing things and giving back to the community. She really stepped up her business game. She was doing the Ricky Smiley thing for a little bit.
Hmm.
Um,
She became
she
independent.
yeah, she grew up. Like nothing short of the woman grew up on screen.
Yeah.
So always shout outs, flowers to Portia. She was great TV. I missed the hell out of her. I wish she would come back. I could see why she wouldn't because that whole thing with her and getting Simon was messy.
I wish that would have been
Messy, messy.
televised. I
That
wish that
should
would
have
have
been
been
televised. I was so
televised.
upset that it wasn't because that was so
And she
messy.
got that man. They look all happy.
They do. I think they just celebrated their anniversary. Or at least that's what I saw
Yeah.
on Instagram. I don't know.
They're so cute. And I
They
really
are.
did like her growth because in her first season, she didn't speak up for herself. She
Yeah.
let her husband speak for her. She had ignorance. She was very naive, like you said. And it was just so sad because I get that we're watching Housewives, but I'm here to also support empowered women. And I think that this show does provide that, and it did provide that for Portia because she just
Hmm.
had the opportunity to grow herself and her platform and her brand.
Yeah.
And if she were to stay in that marriage, she would not be where she at right now.
Nope, not at
Um,
all.
and I think the show helped with that. I
Yeah.
also think that um her growth was extremely genuine.
Hmm.
And I also did appreciate her fucking people up. When she dragged Kenya, I was like, fucking funny. Drag that bitch. Drag her.
Yes.
Let me tell you, I don't really hate Kenya. I think that
I do. Well,
I
I don't hate her. I don't. She irks me in a way that I've
she's
never.
annoying.
I don't. She's so annoying. I'm
She's
not gonna
annoying as
hold
fuck.
you.
And she
She's so
knows it.
annoying.
And she quick with the tongue. That's what I like about her. The shit that she says is absolutely wild.
It's
And
bananas.
she says that shit with her chest. And
She
she means it.
does. She
So,
does.
but when she got dragged, I was like, this is why you got
She
dragged.
deserved it that day. I'm not
She
gonna hold
did.
you. I don't well, I sometimes condone people getting hands put on them, but she definitely did deserve that day. And I feel like we could do a whole deep dive on that alone because I
Hmm.
feel like there is a racial component about what happened that day that a lot of people don't understand. And particularly, I don't think that Andy understood because if I really feel like he understood how the Black community works, I don't think that she would have gotten fired, or I don't know if she was fired or she was just demoted or she just wasn't there for a season. Whatever happened to her, I feel like she wouldn't have gotten the punishment that she did because although Kenya did not deserve to get her ass beat in the way that she did, it was coming to her.
It was
100%.
she starts shit and then she fucking she throws stones and hides her hands.
Every day. Well, I don't know if she hides her hands, bro. Her hands be there.
Actually, you're right. She don't hide them.
Her hands are in front of her face,
She
like,
don't hide
yeah,
them.
bitch, I just threw it.
You're right. She paints the stones with her fingertips and then shows her hands with the paint stamp.
Yeah,
that's what she does.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. But it's so chaotic, and I'm low key here for the chaos.
I mean, as much as I don't enjoy her, I will say she's great for Atlanta. She honestly, since Nene left, I think that she is what Atlanta needs. She brings the chaos, she brings the drama, she brings the laugh. You know, daughter is also super cute and stuff. So I feel bad about her relationship status, but she's divorced from that man now. So hopefully she goes and find herself somebody new who can love her in the way that she deserves and all that stuff. The stuff with her mama also really unfortunate. She didn't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. But it's the way that she activates people, and I can see why people want to fight her. Like,
yeah,
that's
activates is the word.
Yeah, I can see
Activates
why people want to fight
word.
her on a daily basis.
But it was so cool because Portia, when she throw down, she's very loyal. I like that also.
She's very Southern, bro.
She is. And then going from being so quiet to when you watch her with forgetting her baby daddy's name or her daughter's father's name.
Yeah, what's that man's name? He was so irrelevant.
He was.
We gonna call him Hot Dog Man because I can't recall his name.
Hot Dog Man, yeah. When she was giving Hot Dog Man one more try, and they're at that dinner, and she's like, "So why am I wasting my time here?" Seeing her speak up for herself like that was amazing because not only is she doing it, not only is she speaking up, she's speaking up in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
Dennis, that's his name. Sorry. I just remembered Hot Dog Man's name.
I was trying to remember. It had a D in there. But yeah, Hot Dog Man Dennis. She was out here. She was out here. And I do miss her on the show. So she's another one that I like. But yeah, I like that list.
Honorable mention for love her and hate her, Miss Heather. And she's gonna be her own episode, but I loved her first, hated her season 3, season 4, she back on top.
Popping.
Love her. Love her, hate her, all the stuff. Everything.
I love it. Well, yeah, those are our people. And next episode, we're going to talk about the greatest episode of all time. Check it out. You figure it out once you listen to it. Drink water. Do things y'all enjoy.
Make good choices. Bye.
Adios.